there has been a disturbing incident involving an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, and the reactions across the internet have reached a new low. The vitriol and sickening comments that have emerged are deeply troubling. Let's dive into some of the most unsettling responses to this event, explore what it means for the future of our country, and discuss how Christians should respond during these increasingly unsettling times. Platforms like X have become breeding grounds for some of the nastiest exchanges online. One influencer in particular has drawn attention with their disturbing commentary. Destiny, a well-known streamer and debater, has often offered insightful perspectives, but his reaction to this incident has been shockingly out of line. A word of caution: what we're about to cover includes extremely disturbing content. Destiny initially expressed conflicted feelings about the shooting, which drew some initial scrutiny. I'm honestly conflicted on how I feel about the shooting, but we'll chat about it on stream tomorrow. However, his tweets soon escalated into more extreme. He posted statements like Donald Trump incited an insurrection and then was granted full criminal immunity for possibly all of his involvement. I have zero sympathy for anything that happens to him or anyone who supports him. I will argue this position against any and all conservatives of reasonable size, but there's a reason none of you spineless hacks step outside of your echo chambers. Then this: I want to profusely apologize to any Trump supports in my audience that I've misled into thinking I view them as anything beyond the unpatriotic, treacherous, anti-American that they are. And then this: if I've offended anyone with my recent tweets, I'd like to make things right. DM me and I'll buy you front row seats to the next Trump rally. Initially, many thought this was an attempt at trolling, but Destiny's post continued to shock. He mocked the unfortunate death of the victim by sharing a crime scene photo with a caption saying, "All I see is Biden up +1 in Pennsylvania." And there is a video of him telling the same.
Dude, the firefighter guy, Trump, the people that support him. I just want you to know, okay, just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away or whatever I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am, 100%.
Such comments have shocked many, especially since Destiny is generally seen as a reasonable progressive by those who disagree with him. I interviewed you because I thought you were representative of the youthful progressive left. This reaction may have partially been fueled by frustration over perceived hypocrisy. For instance, when Nancy Pelosi's husband was violently attacked with a hammer, some conservatives mocked him, saying things like, "When you see Nancy Pelosi trending, and it's not that she's dead. I don't understand what the big deal about Paul Pelosi is," which seemingly angered Destiny. These were his replies to those tweets. He pointed out that the same conservatives now condemning violence against Trump had previously made light of Pelosi's husband's attack. Destiny's extreme response also references Trump's own mocking of Pelosi's husband.
We'll stand up to crazy Nancy Pelosi who ruined San Francisco. How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know? And she's against building a wall at our border, even though she has a wall around her house, which obviously didn't do a very good job.
He questioned why it's acceptable for Trump to make light of such incidents, but not for Destiny. He said this in the latest interview he appeared on Piers Morgan Uncensored.
I don't think I'm gleeful about anything. I don't think anybody should die. I don't think anybody deserves to die. But you want to talk about gleeful? Look at the conservative response to Pelosi's husband when they broke in.
I can answer that.
Mainstream media figures
I can answer that.
I don't care.
I can answer that.
With all due respect, I don't care what your answer is.
Let me answer that.
The reality is that conservatives have been turning the temperature up on the rhetoric. They have been making fun of these types of events for years, and now when something happens to them, now they're looking for sympathy from the liberal side. Absolutely not. It's insane. It's unhinged that you can conduct yourself in such a manner and expect people to feel sorry when things happen.
The underlying principle remains: mocking victims of violence is unacceptable, regardless of political affiliation. Moreover, the problem isn't limited to Destiny. There were so many comments and video in the internet like this, including a staffer for a Mississippi Democratic congressman added to the controversy by suggesting that the attacker should have aimed better, a remark that only deepens the disturbing trend of justifying violence based on political bias. The recent events underscore a troubling trend where political divisions lead to a dehumanization of opponents and an erosion of moral standards. Regardless of political views, it's crucial to condemn violence and avoid mocking victims. True respect for democratic values means rejecting such behavior and holding firm to principles of justice and empathy. Now, what worries me most about this entire situation is the deadlock we're witnessing. When figures on the left condemn the violence against Trump, their efforts were met with criticism. For instance, Obama stated that there is no place for political violence in our democracy and expressed relief that Trump wasn't seriously injured. There is absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. Although we don't yet know exactly what happened, we should all be relieved that former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt and use this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics. Michelle and I are wishing him a quick recovery. Yet his post was met with blame and anger rather than support. The crux of the matter isn't about what you think of Obama or his past actions. The real issue is that no statement seems capable of bridging the divide. Responses to Obama and other progressive commentators reveal a deeper problem. No matter who is affected, accusations and blame quickly follow. If Biden had been targeted, Trump would likely be blamed, just as Trump is now being blamed. This escalating hostility is evident. Both sides are entrenched in a cycle of reactionary behavior, making it increasingly difficult to find common ground. The division is deepening, and political violence is becoming more acceptable to many. For Christians, there are important principles to uphold in this challenging time. Firstly, we should avoid reacting to worldly events in the same manner as the world does. Our responses should not be driven by hatred or discord, but by the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, and kindness. Remember that our ultimate allegiance is to Christ and His kingdom, not to any political figure or party. Our citizenship is in heaven, and our loyalty should reflect that. Secondly, the Bible instructs us to pray for our leaders, regardless of our personal opinions. This includes praying for those we disagree with and those who hold authority, as they too are created in God's image and are placed in their positions by Him. Lastly, Christians are called to mourn with those who mourn. This means standing alongside the families affected by tragedy, regardless of our personal feelings towards them or their political affiliations. We should pray for the families of those involved in this incident, including the family of the shooter. In a world growing darker, we have an opportunity to shine brightly with the love of Christ. By extending grace and compassion, even when it's challenging, we reflect the true spirit of Christ. His sacrifice was unjust, but He responded with grace and prayer for His enemies. We too can embody that same love and grace, demonstrating the light of Christ in all we do.